Hey bros, welcome back to County Gnarlo. Just a quick update. What's been going on in the county? You see, we're in the backyard of Castle Gnarlo here, standing under I guess it's almost a greenhouse roof these days of my original wheat farm. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to continue the glass block all the way around in this gap. I thought it would be fairly safe, but I think that probably here and over just past the wall over there where my main wheat field is now, it's glassed over and fenced just like this, and there's always a few bare grass patches in it. And I think what's happened is since I've put in since Mo Creatures has put in the rats, I've noticed the rats climb vertical surfaces. And I think they're climbing over the fence, squeezing between the two here, and coming down and getting into the crops. And I definitely want to stop that, especially since I'm back here and now my hemp production is starting to come in quite nicely. I've actually got two I can harvest here now. There we go. And I'm going to, we got at least one seed. Yeah, so I can expand the extent of the farm here. I'm going to come right on over. And I've got one here that isn't growing as fast as the others. I have to keep checking to make sure nothing's above it. That was my original problem, is that I had these two planted further out here in the field. Or all three of them planted out here further in the field. And I think they were down here at this end, and they would not grow forever until I realized, I looked up and they were right underneath the aqueduct. The hemp here, which is from the Better Than Wolves mod, it does require level 15 light, which you can only get from, a jack-o'-lantern or a glowstone or sunlight. So that's one of the reasons I have a jack-o'-lantern planted here, to make sure they constantly get bright light. I don't have that here, but I'm going to, I think I've got one more. Yeah, I've got a pumpkin right over there that I'll turn into a jack-o'-lantern and put over here so it can have the light all the time. So, break that, and we will plant the other hemp seed right there. The reason I have the hemp growing is for the Better Than Wolves mod. You need it to grow the rope and that sort of thing. For making the rope to use it to build elevators and other kind of items that the mod requires. So that's why I have this growing here, and eventually, as I get the seeds, I will probably turn this entire area into the hemp production, except for whatever's going to be up underneath the aqueduct. Going along with that, with the whole aqueduct theme, you'll notice I have expanded an outshoot. It used to just come over here and pour out, but there's now another branch of it that comes out and goes down and over the wall there. And I'll show you what it looks like from up above. There we go. See, the channel splits and it travels all the way over here as well. And goes over the original wall here, which has become kind of the city wall, and pours into a cistern on the other side. So let's go on down. Okay. The guards are starting to put up little bridges and walk paths along the top wall so they can get around. And you'll remember my piston gate out there. Since this is going to be the new gate of the city, this has now been officially designated. The sign says Old Gate. Yes, I know, I am terribly creative with my names. There we go. But the cistern comes over here, but the aqueduct comes on over here, pours into another cistern, which goes into this channel and powers my new water wheel. This was also created with the Better Than Wolves mod, and it is not actually hooked up to anything at the moment. It is just being held up by a couple of pieces of scaffolding, but eventually, in the next day or so, I will have some gearboxes here and axles, and it will go down into the ground, at least for the moment, The motor power is going to go down into the ground, up underneath the ground, and into the kitchen area up inside Sweeten Things, my bakery shop over here. I do like the Better Than Wolves mod. I've been wanting something like that for the longest time, if nothing else, just for decorative purposes. But the fact that it actually has a functional use as well really just makes the mod appeal to me just ever so much more. And it'll come through in here and power some of these items like the millstone and the saw over here that I believe I showed y'all those last time. I've got my wolves in here currently because also with the Better Than Wolves mod, you can, as I said, well, I don't have the wolves in here for this reason, but I said the Better Than Wolves mod, you can use slime balls or you can produce glue by rendering down leather and turning it into glue. And one of the things that you have to do with the leathers, to make leather, you have to tan it. And to tan it, you need a cauldron, and you also need this little item right up here called dung. And dung is produced by wolves. And what you do is, according to the mod, they naturally produce on average about 1 piece of dung a day. And if you feed them, you can get them to produce far more. But it's still random chance. For instance, this good little boy over here, Frodo. Frodo, you a good one, aren't you, Frodo? He is a dung factory. He produced like 6-7 pieces while I was working down here and all this. This worthless, I won't call him a piece of crap because he's not got any crap in him. He has only produced 1 the entire time that I've been working with him. So, anyway, there you go. And for those that are curious about where exactly I rendered down the dung and leather to tan the hides and everything, since I've only got 1 cauldron, which is used for the baked goods upstairs, I don't eat here. Just not going to say anything more than that. I don't frequent this establishment that much as a place of getting food. So the other point, the other thing that is going on in my world that's new is you'll notice these hatches. I have started a sewer system since, like I said, I'm going to build a mill back there behind the build a mill house back here behind the water wheel. And since I've got the bakery here, and looks like I'm going to start actually building a little village or town outside of the castle, figured we needed an actual sanitary sewer system. So the hatches lead down here, up underneath the street that is growing, the gravel road, and comes down into the sewers. They haven't expanded very far, so as of this point, eventually they will connect with the ocean out there somewhere, or the little lakes out there somewhere. But it goes this far this direction, and about an equal distance the other way down the other side of the bakery here. And yes, it's got all the twists and turns and dark corners and everything else that a good sewer should have. In fact, it is rumored that there are even possibly some hidden areas down deep in the sewer where possibly evil cultists and things happen. But I don't know about that myself. So that is what's happening in County Gnarlo. I do hope y'all have had a good time and are having a nice weekend, and we will see you again next time. Thank you ever so much for watching, and have a good one.